Now this is the point of the matter. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Now people look at this and they think that this is talking about Satan that's up in up in the air, and they is fighting against the angels, and they think this is Armageddon. All right, them fighting against, but Armageddon is basically all the armies of the world fighting against each other. That's what Armageddon really represents. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found in any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent. That's why it says, and the great dragon was cast out. That's why it says in the book of Isaiah 14 and 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? How art thou cast down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. And the so-called white man basically deceived the whole world through his image, to make people believe that he's the Most High, that he's the Lord, that he's the angels, that he's the prophets, that he's everybody that's great, that he's Japhet. That's why you have these clowns out there teaching that the so-called white man is Japhet, because the so-called white man wants to get as far away from the word Esau or Edom as possible. That's why they put out that bullshit that Noah's 3 sons, one was white, one was Chinese, and whatever the fuck they teach. You know, that's why they put that bullshit out there, because they're trying to get away from that term Esau. It says, and the great red dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And we already went through certain scriptures to show you that the word angel doesn't necessarily mean an actual angel. It could mean a messenger. Alright, it could mean a strong one also. Now we're going to go from there to the book of Revelation, the 19th chapter. Alright, and we're going to go to the 11th verse, and we're going to read on down, because this chapter coincides with Revelations 12 perfectly. Okay, and it breaks it down perfectly as to what Revelation the 12th chapter is talking about. Alright, as Ariel one time said, you know, he mentioned this to Elder Tahar. He said that the book of Revelation basically is a repetitious book. It tells the same story, but it tells it in different forms. Alright, so this is Revelation 19:11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Because that's what Yahushua is coming back for. He's coming back to make war. He's coming back to bring fire. He's coming back to bring his sword. He's coming back to bring destruction. He's coming back to bring judgment. But he's also coming back to bring salvation. It says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. So it says his eyes were as a flame of fire, going back to Revelation the 1st chapter, letting you know that his eyes were, you know, his eyes were red because he used to drink wine when he was on the earth. And that doesn't mean that he was drinking wine while he was up in the heavens, because these dickheads, discomforted niggas, talking about, yeah, he said he's not going to drink wine till he come back. Nigga, we know that. You don't think we know that? You don't think we know that it didn't say that the Lord was up in the heavens waiting, and then he was just floating around. Then he came and showed himself to John after he finished sipping on a bottle of Ripple. You know, these niggas are they're jokes, man. But anyway, later for them, it says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Why were many crowns on his head? Because he conquered many nations. And those many nations that he conquered are all the nations that are upon the earth right now. Because going back to the beginning, all these nations are still around. All the nations that ruled, they're just in different levels right now. Like at one time, the Ethiopians, they were a great nation. The Babylonians, the Cushites, you know, Nebuchadnezzar, you know. But now they're eating shit, eating swine, you know, eating all kind of abominations. You know, they're on a very low level right now, but they still have a certain amount of rulership on the earth. So the Lord, when he comes back, he's going to take all those crowns away, basically from Esau, because Esau is the one that's holding the crowns right now. It says, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with the vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High, because Yahushua is known as the Word. All right. It says, and the armies, and don't get stupid where it says that he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, because the name of the Lord is Yahushua. Okay, that's his name. That's the name of the Savior. That's the name of salvation. All right, so don't get stupid and well, it says here he had a name written that no man. That ain't talking about his name as far as the salvation that was given to us. All right, for those of you that would like to get simple. And he was clothed with vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, because that's what the angels are coming to do. They're coming in the chariots. They're coming to shoot fire. They're coming to bring destruction. They're coming to deliver the nation of Israel. It says, and the armies which were in heaven. This follows in the same. This goes hand in hand with the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in white and fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. See, that's why I said that the dragon fought and his angels, and Michael fought and his angels, because the angels of the so-called white man are his ships, are his tanks, is all the artillery and strength that he has as his army. Just like the Most High has a strength. Most High has his army. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Alright, Isaiah 13, and spare with me 1 second. 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. So this is talking about the angels. Those are the Most High's mighty ones. Those are the Most High's warriors, the Most High's soldiers. All right. And it goes into the same thing when you go back to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. It speaks about the Most High's army. It says that out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Why is he called King of Kings and Lord of Lords? Because he took down all these different kings and lords and rulers and people that had certain positions on the earth. He took all them devils down. Alright? And it goes on to say, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that you may eat the flesh of kings. Why? Because Satan and his angels are representative of these kings on the earth. And one thing that I didn't mention was that in the movie Saving Private Ryan, towards the end of the movie, when the planes were flying overhead, I believe it was Matt Damon made a statement to Tom Hanks, and he says something, yeah, the first airborne or whatever the airborne was that came, they coming to deliver us or something to that extent. And Tom Hanks said, no, those are angels over our shoulders or something to that effect. So basically Esau trusts in those jets and his weaponry. That's his angels. Those are his mighty ones. Because another name for angels in certain parts of the scriptures is called cherubims, and the word cherubims means mighty ones. So Esau's mighty ones, or Esau's angels, are those ships, those planes, those guns, those cannons, those tanks, those missiles. That's Esau's angels. So it said that you may eat the flesh of kings, because when Yahushua comes back, that's what he's going to do. He's going to fight against kings. He's going to fight against princes. He's going to fight against captains. He's going to fight against generals. He's going to fight against military men, privates, buck privates, PFCs, specialists, all them different ranks of military men that are on the face of the earth. And it tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, which we're not going to get a chance to go to go through, because we're going to end it in this scripture here. But this is just to make the point that you may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. Come on, man. Hold on. Let's go to the book of Revelation. Right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. And let's read that part again. Just in case there's any people out there that are still not convinced. Revelation 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Alright? What does it say here? And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Come on, man. What more proof do you guys need, man? Alright? That whole thing about Satan being cast out of heaven, that's all bullshit. Alright? And the beast was taken, the beast is NATO, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, which is lake of fire burning with brimstone, which is the thermonuclear destruction. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. Alright, so the bottom line, I mean, there's, like I said, there's more scriptures we can go to. We can go through this thing all night. But in the interest of time, we're going to end it at this particular point. And I hope you brothers learn something. And to those that can't get it, then it's not meant for you. And, you know, death to America, and peace and blessings and honor upon those men that are out there that's teaching the word. And Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for giving us leaders like the Elder Tahar, the Elder Gabar, the Elder Rakah, and other such men as the like of them, you know. And Lord's will, we'll see you brothers soon, and we'll get out of this situation soon. Shalom.